Western Christianity and Eastern Christianity have been divided for centuries, shaped by differences in culture, theology, and history. Though both branches share the foundation of Jesus Christ and the teachings of the Bible, they have developed in distinct ways over time. This division can be traced back to the early centuries of Christianity when disagreements about doctrine and leadership created tensions. The final split, known as the Great Schism of 1054, officially separated the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church. One major difference between Western and Eastern Christianity is how they understand church authority. In the West, the Pope is seen as the supreme leader of the Church, believed to have authority over all Christians. In the East, authority is shared among several bishops, known as patriarchs, and no single leader has ultimate control. This difference in leadership has influenced many aspects of church life and governance. Another key difference is language. Western Christianity traditionally used Latin in its services, while Eastern Christianity used Greek and other local languages. This language barrier made communication difficult and contributed to misunderstandings between the two sides. Even today, Latin remains important in the Roman Catholic Church, while Eastern Orthodox churches continue to use languages like Greek, Russian, and Serbian in their liturgies. The way worship is conducted also varies. In Western Christianity, church services tend to be structured and formal, with a focus on preaching and the Eucharist. In Eastern Christianity, worship is more mystical, with long, elaborate services filled with chanting, incense, and icons. The use of icons, holy images of Jesus, Mary, and the saints, is a major part of Eastern Christian worship, whereas Western Christianity has traditionally been more cautious about their use. The two branches also differ in their beliefs about certain doctrines. One of the biggest disagreements is the Filioque clause in the Nicene Creed. Western Christians believe that the Holy Spirit proceeds from both the Father and the Son, while Eastern Christians believe the Holy Spirit proceeds only from the Father. This theological debate played a role in the split between the churches and remains an issue today. Their approach to salvation also differs slightly. Western Christianity, especially within Roman Catholicism, has emphasized legal and judicial aspects of salvation, often describing sin as a debt that must be paid. Eastern Christianity, on the other hand, sees salvation as a process of becoming united with God. Focusing more on healing and transformation than on legal forgiveness, the two traditions also have different views on original sin. Western Christianity, especially in the Catholic and Protestant traditions, teaches that all humans inherit original sin from Adam and Eve, which must be cleansed through baptism. Eastern Christianity believes that humans inherit the consequences of sin, such as death and suffering, but not the guilt of Adam's sin itself. This leads to a slightly different understanding of human nature and salvation. Fasting and spiritual disciplines are also emphasized differently. Eastern Christianity has strict fasting rules, with long periods of abstaining from meat, dairy, and even oil and wine. Western Christianity encourages fasting but is generally less strict about it. These differences reflect a broader contrast in their approaches to religious practices. Eastern Christianity focuses heavily on tradition, while Western Christianity has adapted more to modern life. Marriage and celibacy are another point of distinction. In the Roman Catholic Church, priests are required to remain celibate and cannot marry. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, priests are allowed to marry before ordination but cannot marry after becoming priests. Bishops, however, must remain celibate. This difference in practice has shaped the clergy's lifestyle and the structure of both churches. The role of Mary, the mother of Jesus, is also viewed differently. Both traditions honor Mary, but Western Christianity has developed doctrines such as the Immaculate Conception, which teaches that Mary was born without original sin. Eastern Christianity does not accept this teaching but still considers Mary to be highly holy and pure. Instead of the Immaculate Conception, Eastern Christians emphasize her role in salvation history through her deep connection with Jesus. One of the most visible differences is in church architecture. Western churches, especially Catholic cathedrals, tend to have tall spires and grand, Gothic-style structures. Eastern churches often have domes, symbolizing the heavens, and are filled with icons and gold decorations. The architecture reflects the different spiritual emphases of the two traditions, with the West focusing on upward movement toward God and the East emphasizing God's presence filling all things. The sacraments, or holy rituals, are also practiced slightly differently. Both traditions recognize sacraments like baptism and the Eucharist, but the way they are performed varies. In the East, babies receive baptism, confirmation, and communion all at once, while in the West, these sacraments are usually given separately over time. This reflects the different ways each tradition understands spiritual growth and initiation into the Church. Despite their differences, both Western and Eastern Christianity have made significant contributions to Christian history. The West has given the world figures like St. Augustine, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Martin Luther, while the East has produced saints like St. John Chrysostom, St. Basil the Great, and St. Gregory of Nyssa. Both traditions have rich theological writings and spiritual practices that have shaped Christianity worldwide. Over the centuries, there have been attempts at reconciliation between the two branches, but the differences remain. Some councils and dialogues have brought moments of unity, but deep theological and cultural distinctions continue to keep them apart. However, in recent years, there has been a renewed effort to find common ground and foster respect between the two traditions. While the Catholic Church and Orthodox Church remain separate, they do share some beliefs and practices. Both uphold the importance of tradition, the authority of the Church, and the belief in the sacraments. They also share a deep commitment to prayer, charity, and spreading the Christian faith. The influence of Western Christianity can be seen in the Protestant Reformation, which led to the rise of many new Christian denominations. Eastern Christianity, on the other hand, has remained more unified, with most Orthodox churches preserving their ancient traditions and teachings. Throughout history, both traditions have faced challenges, from political struggles to persecution. The Eastern Orthodox Church has endured oppression under Islamic and communist rule, while the Catholic Church has navigated conflicts with secular governments and internal reforms. These experiences have shaped their identities and how they engage with the modern world. Despite the separation, there is still hope for unity. Many Christians from both traditions seek to learn from one another and appreciate the spiritual riches each has to offer. Some theological disputes remain difficult to resolve, but mutual respect and dialogue have improved relations in recent years. Christianity, at its core, is about following Jesus Christ. While the differences between Western and Eastern Christianity are significant, they both strive to spread the gospel and help people grow in faith. Whether through the structured traditions of the West or the mystical worship of the East, both paths lead believers toward God. In the end, what matters most is love, faith, and devotion to Christ. If Christians focus on what unites them rather than what divides them, they can work together to bring hope and light to the world. No matter the tradition, the goal remains the same: to glorify God and share His love with others. Thank you for reading. If you enjoyed this discussion on Western and Eastern Christianity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on faith, history, and theology. See you in the next one. God bless.